What's up, people? I just need to preface this particular video because when I was running through the setup of this Google Wi-Fi mesh network, I ran into a problem where the settings to add another device weren't there. And the only reason I know they weren't there is because I just set it up a second time, and the setting I was looking for the entire time is there now. So I'm going to show those settings, the difference, right? In post, I'll edit it into this video so you can see what I was missing and what I'm seeing the second time around. For the most part, people who set this up are just going to go right down the setup wizard and choose how many more access points you want to set up. So most people aren't even going to have this problem because you're going to set up all your access points at one time. But the way I set it up, even in the TP-Link Deco setup, I skip setting up 2 and 3 access points. I jump into the software and then I set up 2 and 3 access points later. So that's the big difference. I'm going to show the difference between what I saw the second time compared to what I saw the first time. And in the description, I'm going to put in add more than one access point in the description and tag it with the timestamp so you know where you don't want to skip the setup wizard and just set up your second and third access points if you have them. What's up, people? I decided that instead of posting the other one real quick, I'm going to take a break from editing that TP Deco video, even though it is finished and I'd had a few different takes on it. I'm just going to get into this one because I'm really interested in just keeping the momentum going and reviewing this stuff before I get into editing mode. So I'm going to unpack this Google Wi-Fi thing, set it up, configure it, record it, and then edit both videos for the review and the walkthrough. So I'm just opening up the Google Wi-Fi stuff. Okay, so we have, looks like the same configuration, but this is USB-C. It has 2 physical RJ45 ports, and all of them are probably exactly the same. And as with the TP Deco, I probably only need one device to get started. So there's an Ethernet cable in here somewhere. Here we go. Ethernet cable. All right. But the nice thing about these Google devices so far is it comes with that USB-C, which is very standard and universal connection. So if for some reason you don't have this anymore, or you don't have the whole cable, you can replace it with some other USB-C. Okay, so all you need to do is have either inside wiring, which is here, or your modem, which is here. This is just a demonstration. This is obviously not the modem I actually use, but this is a lot like what modems look like. It either has one port like this for the network, and that symbol right there, that's a networking symbol for your local network, or it'll have, or it'll be a router and it'll have multiple ports that look like this, but maybe it's marked in yellow rather than purple. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna plug it into my network. Plug it into power. This is a little bit more specific. We have one, the middle, which is blue, is the power. So you have like these icons here, a green, a blue, and a gray. I'm not sure what the gray one is for. The green one, though, is for the internet, which is probably just the network that's going to get out to the internet. The blue one's for power, and the gray one very well could be kind of like a hub port or a way to connect out to the network. So if you're going to go in from the router here, and then go out to your network, if you needed that that configuration, which I think is going to be an unusual configuration for most people. I think most people are just going to use that internet port and then use this Google mesh network as a routing system, or you could use it as an access point. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the App Store, download Google Wi-Fi. Hopefully that's what it's called. There's also QR codes on the bottom. So I could probably just scan the QR code and make it easy on myself, but in this case, I'm not gonna make it easy on myself. I see the Google Wi-Fi utility, or in utilities, and it has very bad reviews compared to most Google apps. So we'll see what the bad reviews are about. It has just under 3 stars. It's called Google Wi-Fi. And now that it's downloaded, we're gonna open it and we'll sign in under my main Google account here. We'd like to use the Bluetooth, fine. We'd like to send you notifications, no. And then it says help improve Google's Wi-Fi. You can take it or leave that. And we're looking for devices. Okay, it says Wi-Fi point found, and we're connecting. It says scan the QR code. Okay, we'll scan the code. And it has the code, and now it's connecting to the Wi-Fi. We'll name this kitchen, and we'll name it office. Let's name it office. And the network name in this case is gonna be G-Wi-Fi. And the password, we'll make it a simple password. And then we'll select create network. It says Google Wi-Fi is powered by cloud services. You can store and analyze data about your entire network. This seems like a big mistake. Now you can choose to give up more of your information or not. I don't think it's gonna matter for most people. Most people have a Google account and most people know that Google tracks them endlessly and mercilessly. So you can make your choice here. I'm gonna make it a little more difficult on this configuration and say, no thanks, I do not want to give up this. It says we will not be able to optimize your Wi-Fi network. Some features like family Wi-Fi and network insights will not work. Fine, turn it off. And it's creating the network under that G-Wi-Fi SSID. And I don't know if this is really doing anything or there's just a lot of pretending to do a lot of work. An automated process probably should be able to configure an IP address a little bit faster than I can. Okay, here we go. So we're almost finished. Follow the final steps to get online. Okay, so this basically has some more tutorials or walkthroughs. So if we go to tap settings, under Wi-Fi. So if I go done and then I just go to the Wi-Fi settings under the, come on. How many more do I have? Let's just say I'm all done. And now I'm going to, this is all the summary of what I just did, which is I created a new network called G-Wi-Fi. The password is 1 through 8, and then I have the first primary Wi-Fi point as called Office. Next, installing the latest software. So we're getting updates now. A lot of cool features. Restarting the Wi-Fi device. Email updates. No, I don't want any more email. And it's ready. So let's connect to it. Network is offline. What? Connect to your Wi-Fi so the app can check the status of the network. Okay, let's find out what's going on. Let's connect to it. Right now I'm connected to one of my other access points. I'm going to connect to the G-Wi-Fi, which I don't see on my list yet. What's going on? It says G-Wi-Fi is offline. Okay, it says everything looks good. So what is the difference? I don't know. Let's go back into my settings. See if I can see the G-Wi-Fi. Oh, here it is. It's there. I got to type in the password. Then we're going to test out the speed, make sure the throughput is comparable to the TP Deco. It says no device is connected, even though my device is connected. So it seems like the information on the app isn't very clear, or at least it's not updated very quickly. So let's see here. So we can add a manager, which basically means, to me, I'm sure it means another Google account. So somebody else can connect to this device to configure it. It is not as nice as the TP Deco app by a lot. There's a lot of things that I'm clicking on that just don't have any options. So I say priority device. I don't know what priority device is. Maybe it still thinks that there is no devices connected. Okay, so we have something called family Wi-Fi pause, which probably is a place where I can create profiles. So just create labels like nicknames or kids, or it would be a nickname or a label. Add the devices they use, and pause all the devices with a single tap. So that's very similar to the parental controls that the Deco Wi-Fi had, or TP Deco had. But I don't see Okay, so the managers are me. The advanced networking, let's see here. Let's check to see what the IP address scheme is. So the IP scheme is exactly the same. The DHCP range is different. Yeah, it is the same. So now I'm looking for device mode. I want it to be bridge mode, which is different terminology. Bridge mode basically is probably just access point mode, but it's a little bit more technical. Most bridges pass traffic directly through without using any settings and configurations like routers. So let's save changes. We want to go into bridge mode because I want all these devices to act as an access point. I don't want any of them to act as a router. Okay, didn't look like it changed. Let's try again. Okay, saving changes. This seems like it's going to take a little bit of time here. Okay, now into bridge mode. There we go. I just had to wait for it. And great, that's great. Okay, so the IP addresses are still... I might need to restart this because it's not getting the new IP address. Okay, so I'm going to restart this just to force the settings. And I have a notification the network has been restarted. And I'm connected to back to one of my other access points. I'm going to wait for this thing to restart. Okay, it's back online. It went from glowing blue like a Cylon to now it's glowing white. So it must be back up and online. I'll connect back to the access point or the SSID. Yeah, these take a while to connect. I don't know what the delays are. Let's go back into the app. Okay, cloud services are off. So unless I specifically turn on a lot of Google magic, which is basically an intrusion on... I think some people would see it as an intrusion. Like I said, most people already have Google accounts, and of course Google mines your data as their business model. So this is going to be like an extra layer of information you're feeding Google if you want to. That's up to you. Let's see. To add another device, it's up to there. It's a setup Wi-Fi point. But for now, I'm just going to do a test. There's no in-app tests as far as I can tell. I don't see any in-app speed tests. But I am connected to the Google access point. And let's run the speed test. It's good latency. Yeah, and it's good throughput. Similar throughput to the other device. Not quite as good, but I think it might just be how my internet connection is behaving. And it drops off quite significantly. So this might not be as good as the TP Deco. But it's basically the same. It's getting 134 down and 20 megs up. So I'd say that was very similar. Let me see what it takes to connect another access point or another device. So let's see here. No, let's get started. Oh no, we don't want to create another network. Let's see this again, create a new network. No, we don't want to create a new network. So why does it assume it wants me to create a new network rather than assume I want to add another device? That seems a little backwards. Okay, Wi-Fi point. So this app doesn't seem to be as intuitive at all. I see Wi-Fi point, but I don't see a way to add another Wi-Fi point. When I go into the main page or I go into the main menu, it says migrate network, set up Wi-Fi point, which should be another opportunity to add, but it thinks I want to create a whole other network. So if I get started on that, it says create a new network. I don't want to create a new network. Let's see if it finds my existing device before I add another one. It's not going to find a new device. I haven't connected it yet, so hopefully it finds my existing device. Okay, it says it didn't find anything, which is exactly right. Let's see. And it's showing a good diagram, a nice diagram for people who aren't familiar with how to set this thing up. And then, yeah, let's see if there's another way to set up one more device. In general, this app isn't as nice to use. It doesn't respond. It has all these grayed out icons. And I cannot see a way to add another access point. So let me try something. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, something's wrong with this app. It should let me, I would think right here, let's get Wi-Fi set up or Google Wi-Fi set up. And it's not asking me to do anything in regards to setting up a new access point. It wants me to create a whole new network. And it has one quality of service option, which is gaming preferred. And it's wanting to optimize Stadia gaming traffic, which I think is a Google product. Yeah, this is more of a confusing experience than it is a pleasant experience. I think had I set this up initially, or set up all 3 access points at the same time, it would have been easier when it asked me how many access points I wanted to add. If I would have just made that selection and gone through with it, I wouldn't have had a problem. But now that I'm trying to go backwards,